Can y'all see me? Okay. I feel like this is a weird angle. Or maybe I need to just... Hey, y'all. Jeez Louise, I can never just get this stuff together. Whatever. I'm not just hold it like this. Alright, what's up, Journey Believers? Welcome back to another episode of Her Journey Within Podcast. It is your host, Simone Renee, and I am just so very blessed to have you guys, my Journey Believers, just be here with me, okay? Because, baby, it has been a very interesting it has been a very interesting year, if I do say so myself. Like, and the year's not even over just yet, and it's already, we have the, I don't even want to say like the tail end, but it's, life has just been lifing. But God is greater. So I wanted to come on here because I haven't been on here in a minute. I haven't seen y'all. Y'all haven't seen me. I haven't been posting. And as y'all know, I too am going through my own journey at the moment. And I still haven't shared everything, but I'm definitely going to be giving you guys that very, very, very soon. As soon as I can come up with like the words, then I can definitely share that with you. But today's episode, I just wanted to come in here and talk about grief and how grief plays a part within the healing process. I know a lot of times we think that when we are mourning, and that's the mourning, mourning, anything, it is sadness, you know, like we feel hurt, we're crying, we feel empty, we're losing something, so we feel like a piece of us has been taken. And so because we are mourning, we oftentimes rush the process of grieving. And then we feel like during that process of rushing, we just need to move on and forget about it. If we don't think about it, then we don't have to deal with the grief. We don't have to deal with the mourning anymore. Until we're alone and we start thinking about certain things, and then it's like, wait, I realize I haven't forgotten about what I've been running from. And I feel like that's starting to happen to me. I feel like I haven't really given myself time to mourn anything. I haven't given myself time to grieve anything. And I've been running and running and running and running to where now where I'm sitting and I'm alone, I realize you have a lot that's weighing on you right now. You have a lot that's holding you right now. You have a lot that is like seriously like sitting on your chest. Like, you ever get that feeling of when you're going through something and you just feel like something is just like sitting, like an elephant is just like sitting his whole ass on your chest and you can't breathe? Now, mind you, I've never had an elephant sit on me, but I can only imagine that I wouldn't be able to breathe, and that's kind of how I feel. And I want us to stop running from grief. I want us to stop running from mourning. I want us to stop running from healing. So why is grief a part of healing? Why is grief a vital part of healing? Because grief is technically the last act of love. And when you love someone and, oh God, I thank you. When you love someone and you are either forced to let them go or you are forced to move on without them, it's gonna hurt. The harder the grief, the greater the love. So, of course, if you don't love anybody, you're not gonna grieve. You're not gonna mourn over them. Them not being a part of your life is not gonna have any type of effect on you because there is no love. When you love someone a little bit, it's like, yeah, that stung a little bit. That hurt just a tiny bit, but I can move on. When you love someone a great deal and you lose them, whether it's a death, an argument, you feel like you need to let them go, walk away, whatever the case may be, it's like you literally feel it and it hurts. And I'm here to just say that it's okay for it to hurt. It's okay. And I'm learning that. Even in my journey right now, I'm learning that it's okay for it to hurt when you're grieving. And grief looks different on everybody. Some people grieve with no tears. Some people grieve with a lot of tears. Grief looks different on everybody. The reason I wanted to do this episode and the reason why I was placing my heart, even though I haven't been talking to you guys in a long time, is because I lost my great-grandmother 3 years ago. 2 days before my 23rd birthday, my mom picked me up. We went to the hospital to pretty much say like our final goodbyes. That day constantly replays in my brain because I remember seeing her in that hospital bed and it didn't even look like her. Like, it didn't even feel real. It was just like, what is this? And I remember begging God, like, God, I'll do anything. Just don't take her. You know when you start bargaining with God and you're like, God, I promise I'm gonna leave this person alone if you just work with me this last time, or I promise I'm gonna stop doing this if you just give me this. Like, when you kind of, trying to get your little, all right, God, if you do this, I got you. That was me. That was me. I was like, God, if you keep her here just a little bit longer, I promise I will do whatever you need me to do. Whatever it is that you need me to do, I got you. And I felt like that was me being selfish because I didn't realize how tired she was. Like, and she lived to be 88. So what I would like to consider, she lived a fulfilled life. She saw decades. Okay? Decades. So it's like she raised her kids, she got married, she worked, she did what she needed to do, she lived. You know what I'm saying? She traveled, she lived. And I can only hope to even make it to just that point, you feel me? But I didn't realize how tired she was. And I didn't realize like how she was just so ready to just check out. And y'all know I'm gonna keep it real. My good sis was ready to check out, okay? She was like, I fought the good fight. I saw everything I needed to see. Lord, I'm coming. You feel me? So I just remember like during that process of watching her slowly fade away, I remember nurses coming in and after, giving the okay that we were done, with our goodbyes, started taking cords out of the machine that was keeping her alive. And I was just like, wow. I didn't want to leave her. I remember a week prior to that going to visit her again in the hospital because she had just had surgery. And I remember her asking me about school. And I was just like, no one knew that I had dropped out. And I haven't communicated that. And I remember her like, just go back. Like, I may not be here to watch you walk across the stage, but I'll be there in spirit. I just need you to go back. Promise me you'll go back. Promise me you'll finish. And one thing about me is if I make a promise, I'm gonna fulfill that promise to the best of my ability. Because one thing I don't like is for somebody to promise me something and they break it. Because your word is everything, and typically all you have is your word. Different conversation for a different day. But I'm really big on promises, and I'm really big on keeping promises, and I'm really big on fulfilling whatever it is that I promise. So I say all that to say, like, within a week of not talking to her, even though I felt like I needed to contact her, I remember the nurse saying like she hasn't been able to sleep long, so we're trying to just make sure she rests and sleep. And I felt guilty because I allowed other things to come and distract me from spending time with her. Now, I'm not saying that I never spent time with her, but I feel like when it mattered the most, I wasn't there. And so I immediately got into that headspace of like, why are you crying? You didn't call her. You didn't go down and see her. You didn't check on her. Why are you crying? And that is such a bad headspace to be in. And I don't know if I'm just like this or if there's anybody else that's watching. We don't give ourselves room to feel anything outside of guilt. We'll really convince ourselves that we're wrong for feeling however it is that we feel because of what we've done in the past. And we have to stop doing that. We have to stop doing that. If we are going to feel something, we have to feel it. Whether we believe it's warranted or not, we're feeling it for a reason. And not necessarily does it always have to just be guilt. We have to know how to feel things. And I'm preaching to myself right now because I'm going through something where right now in my current healing stage of life where I don't want to feel. I would rather just move around it. I don't want to deal with that right now. I'm running. I'm running from what I'm feeling. And so I think about my grandmother all the time, and I feel like that's the one thing that I haven't really been able to fully say that I've grieved. I think I just continue to move forward. And I feel like God is convicting me of that, because it's like, wait a minute. You feel these things for a reason. It's a reason why I gave you feelings. It's a reason why I've allowed you to be such an emotional being. And I feel like everything that I've ever suppressed, everything that I've ever just moved around from, is starting to hit me one by one. And God is forcing me to like deal with it head on. A lot of the things that I thought that I dealt with, that was just the surface level. Now I'm dealing with things on a deeper level. And that blows my everlasting mind. And I feel like we're all in a season right now where God is shaking things up, and He is forcing us to deal with things on a much deeper level. And that literally scares me. I'm like, you want me to do this right now? Right now? Really? You think I can handle that? You know, the Bible speaks on God does not put more on you than you can bear. I'm like, Big G, I'm bearing. this I have reached the ceiling. Okay, I can't bear anymore. And he's like, nope, it's more. It's more, and I'm gonna be right here to guide you. I'm gonna be right here to push you through it. But I'm like, I tap out. You count to 3. Ding, 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 ding. That's it. That's it. And I feel like that's really important to know when you are grieving the loss of someone or something. And the grieving is, it's like, it blows my mind in a sense, because there could be days where you could be having a great day and you could be laughing and thinking of the happy memories, and then you'll smell something or hear something or think of something in an instance that'll just make you remember something else, and then you just start feeling sadness. And it's just like grief is crazy. Grief is crazy. But the reason it's important in healing is because once you are fully healed through your grief, and once you are truly going through the motions of like, okay, pretty much not forcing yourself to do the opposite, forcing yourself to laugh when you need to cry, forcing yourself to cry when you should be laughing. When you are not forcing yourself to do the opposite and you are doing the work in your healing journey, I definitely feel like that's when you're able to kind of just breathe, decompress, and be like, okay, like, I can get through this. I think my issue is I don't want to be deemed as weak for crying about anything. And that's something that I've placed on myself, because growing up, I've always cried. And it didn't get me anywhere. It didn't help the situation. It didn't change my situation. So I always felt like crying was a form of weakness. And I wish that I never believed that, because I feel like if I was able to feel what I feel when I feel it, if I was able to feel what I feel when I feel it, it would help me a lot, instead of suppressing and trying to convince myself that I shouldn't feel that way. And I know I'm not the only person that does this. I know that I'm not. But I know that I need to make that change. And you guys know I'm really big on transparency. I'm really big on being honest and open with you guys. So in this healing journey, I need to grieve the healthy way, which means I need to feel what I feel when I feel it and not run from it. And I encourage anybody that is grieving something, whether it's from 10 years ago or 10 minutes ago, whatever you are grieving, whatever you know that you need to grieve, I need you to feel it. I need you to grieve. I need you to mourn it, and know that it's only going to be, I don't want to say temporary, but the darkness is only temporary. God literally is going to help you through. God is literally going to help me through. I feel like in what I'm going through right now, and in my current stage of life, I feel like my grandmother is here with me. I wish I can just hug her one last time and really feel that hug, but I know that I can carry the memories of her talking to me and teaching me about being a woman and being strong. The strength that I have, this is why I'm like, okay, God, you know I'm strong, and you keep piling more on me, but I feel like the strength that I have is from, sorry y'all, saw a bug. The strength that I have is from her, and it trickled to my grandmother, trickled to my mom, and I have it. And the strength that we possess is very much, it's a little much at times. It's like, wait, I know I'm strong, but I didn't think I was this strong. Like I didn't think that I had to move like this, to possess this type of strength. But we're very strong. The women in my family are very, very strong, and we always pick ourselves up, and we always just get back to what we need to get back to. And I feel like you may not feel like you're strong in this moment. You may feel like you're not going to be able to make it. You may feel like you're not going to be able to get through it. But you can if you allow yourself to. And I'm speaking to me right now too. I can get through this if I allow myself to. I can get through this as long as I continue to stop running. And I feel like God is forcing me to sit, because I'm a runner, okay? I'm a runner and I'm a track star. And the second that I feel like something is too hard, I'm running from it. I'm moving around it. Not running from it as if I can't handle it, but I'm not today. I just choose not to do it in that moment. I'll come back to it later. Let me focus on this first, because it's always going to be something that is outweighing the other. Let me deal with what's weighing the most, and then I can deal with everything else later. And then I realized that typically once I'm done dealing with whatever is outweighing the most, I never go back to what was also contributing to certain things. I just never go back. So I feel like right now I'm in a season where in this healing journey, I have to deal with, God is making me deal with everything at once. He's not giving me the option to pick and choose what I want to deal with and when I want to deal with it. And that's okay, right? That's healing. Sometimes you aren't able to just focus on one thing at a time. Sometimes you're going to be triggered about something that you thought you got over, and you realize like you never really got over it, so now you got to go back to that. But you also can't let go of what new thing you need to heal from. And I think this is why this was placed on my heart, because we have to shed, and we have to mourn, and we have to grieve, and we have to feel. We just have to. We have to. I don't make the rules, but we have to. I have an idea of I don't want to deal with change. I've learned that when you're grieving, you have to deal with change, because what you're grieving, you no longer have. You gotta change. Whew. Sometimes you have to mourn yourself. It doesn't necessarily have to be other people, but sometimes you just have to mourn the old you. Like you're not that person anymore. That really just spoke something to me. Because anybody who knows me knows that I am not a fan of change. I don't embrace change until after the change is already made. But the stages of preparing for change, I'm just like, I'll deal with that later. And So if y'all hear Hercules in the back, y'all know he don't care about nothing but himself. But I have to mourn that I'm not the person that I used to be. I have to mourn that I'm never going to be where I once was. And I could either take that as a positive thing or I could take it as a negative thing. Of course, I associate change with negativity because I feel like the only time change really comes is when some fuck shit goes on. But that's just me. But God is allowing me to sit and say, listen, little Miss Missy, you have to be willing to mourn and grieve the person that you are no longer. You have to be able to mourn and grieve the things that you are no longer going to be a part of. There are going to be some people that you are no longer going to have access to, and they're no longer going to have access to you, and you have to mourn that and grieve that. What you were once doing in your everyday life, you're going to have to be okay with that. That's not going to be your everyday life, and you have to be okay with that. Y'all, grief is so uncomfortable. Mourning is so uncomfortable. But we're going to do this. We're going to get through this journey, believers. We have to get through this. And whatever it is that you are going through, I pray that God gives you comfort and strength. I pray that He allows you the opportunity to feel, to stop running. And there's no time limit on grief. And that's another thing, too. We feel like there's a time limit on everything. Oh, I only have this amount of time. And that's me. I'm talking about me right now. The reason I don't give myself time to mourn and grief is because life doesn't stop. I have to keep going, and I'll deal with it when I need to deal with it. And then I realize that when I'm alone, that's when I deal with it the most. And that's when I start feeling like, what is happening? What am I doing? What is going on? And it's like, Jesus. Jesus, I need for you to help me through this because I am literally losing my mind. I'm about to lose my mind. That's how I feel. But God's like, you're not going to lose your mind. You're right where I need you. Because if I didn't make you uncomfortable, you would have never moved. And I believe that. So, I am excited to be back. Our next episode is going to be very, very soon. I have some changes that I need to make. I have some things that I need to put in order, and I will explain all of that when the timing is right, because I want you guys to know that, like, I'm also healing with you. You're not alone. I've been saying that for ever in the very beginning, and I know for a fact that this is my calling. This is something that I need to be doing, and I know that God is making me go through it so that when it's you going through it, you can feel like you have it. Like, you can feel like you are able to do this. That's pretty much it. I want you guys to grieve. Grief is the last act of love. The greater the grief, the greater the love. But understand that there's no time limit on grief. Understand that it's okay to feel it. And don't stop feeling it because you're too tired to deal with it. You are grieving for a reason. It's something on the inside of you that is getting ready to birth new things, and you have to get rid of what is stopping that birth. You have to get rid of all of that death that you are carrying, all of that weight that you are holding on to. You have to get rid of it. You have to get rid of it. And I'm trusting in God that He is going to help me, that He will help you, and that together we can honestly continue this healing journey and feel what it is that we need to feel, open, honest, and transparently. I love y'all. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, share this live. I might just be doing episodes via live because it just makes it a little bit more easier to just sit and talk to you guys. You can definitely keep replaying this, and I just really pray that we don't quit. We're not quitting. We're not quitting. We will get through this. Whatever this is, you're going to get through it because God has you covered. He has us covered. And that's just on period. And I think that was all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share this live with everybody that you know, and give them time to understand that grief is necessary within your healing journey. Bye.